Okay, so you could make Alan the co-host. Okay. Okay. And am I in the light with the in the Hawaii background? Yes. Oh, no wonder I don't have it plugged in. God. Well, no, I don't have it plugged in. I don't know why I unplugged it. Okay, now, and you can go ahead and start video. Okay. Okay, let me start the recording. All right, thank you. All right. Well, what a day! What a day! You know, Okay, I know what the show is tonight. We have like several topics. And were you able to get the topics, Alan? Hello. Where did you go, Alan? Oh,
There we go.
there you are. I'm thinking like, oh, okay, there you are. Were you able to get the topics for tonight?
Yes, we are going to talk about quite a few things, folks. Did have a little bit of a technical difficulty, a little
Yeah,
bit of a hiccup, but
but I got to tell you why I was distracted.
okay.
Okay, so I'm paying for my campaign. I don't know how expensive it's going to be to get my name recognition. I know I have the TV show and all that kind of stuff, and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people know me from that.
Hmm.
So I was going to do these postcard mailings, and that was my plan last night. I was thinking about it all night. Take it down there. I have 50 names I need that are in this district that they will help volunteer and do all that kind of stuff. Right? So I'm thinking about that. Then this morning I get up, and then I get this email saying, Johnny, because you didn't turn in this financial affidavit, we're going to charge you $650. Now I could come up with that kind of money, but I don't
For
want
sure.
to. I don't want. I
Well,
don't want to. Right.
right.
So they said, well, you can appeal this thing. So at first I said, I threw out the blind card, right? And because I know the Democrats, they love, when you throw out the race card, the blind card, the whatever card. So I threw that out. But then I said, okay, I went with my wife and we went walking. That helped to calm me down, you know.
Okay.
And we went to the thing to get the postcards printed up and all that kind of stuff. And
Hmm.
it was only $12, man. I got 50 of these postcards. Really nice. She picked out a nice color, everything like that. And I thought it was going to cost like, 50 something dollars or $100, which once again, I could have paid for it, but it's just the fact that, I just thought, the stuff was going to, and it was cut nicely and boom, that is.
Still fairly cheap.
Yeah, $12. I said, wow, for all that. So anyway, you got the labels and all that kind of stuff. And so then I come on and I started thinking, I said, okay, hey, it wasn't my fault. My screen reader couldn't read that thing. I wasn't able to read the information. I just thought, I did on the 1st of March, somebody helped me fill out the stuff to get registered. He says, hey, he
Right.
says, I got it. He submitted it Monday. I thought I was done. Then we had a meeting on the 23rd, and then when the lady said, no, you got to do more, get it done tonight. So then I do that part tonight. Then I find out Saturday, no, you didn't do this part, and we want to charge you 600. I'm thinking like, you guys, you guys.
It's an interesting thing that you bring all this up because who is Johnny Johnson? Who is Johnny J? Well, he's the first film producer that we know of in Colorado, anyway. Back in 1991, I think it was, produced a feature length, well, not quite a feature length film, but about
Close.
an hour long film, about 51 minutes or so. Don't really have the time right off the top of my head, but it was
Yeah.
a film called Even Me. He wrote a book called Six Shades of Blindness, which you can find on Amazon right now.
Hmm.
And it's an autobiography. It kind of takes you through some of the experiences and some of the perceptions that are gleaned by Johnny as he was growing up as a blind individual, and losing his sight, and then finally, obviously, becoming blind. So that's who Johnny Johnson is now. What he is doing is he is running for House District number 5 in Denver, Colorado. And that's what he's talking about here, is the idea of just paperwork, and more paperwork. And the idea that he played what is called the blind card in some circles. It's likened to the race card. Where Black Lives Matter or the Blam, that group, or other ones that have sprung up over the years.
Yeah.
They have been allowed to flourish. But being blind, we were never. In fact, we were encouraged not to play that card. As a matter of course, we were. If there was an obstacle that got in our way, like our screen reader or other technology, if it got in our way, we had to find a way around it. And there's just no ifs, ands, or buts. And, with that comes the mentality sometimes of being an overachiever, having to be better at a thing than you normally would have to be. And I wouldn't say it like that. I would just say that, you've got to certainly step up to the plate if you want to be successful. And that's what I admire about you, Johnny, is you don't let things like this stop you.
Oh, man.
So we got a bunch of cool topics, man. One being eBay. eBay has been an awesome source of, a quick buck here and there. And it's a situation where eBay really helps people to make some good money. And what ends up happening with this is the all right, have half a face. There we go. Maybe got a full face. Anyway, so check this out here. Sorry about this. Let me get this just right here. Got the roommate helping me out with the
well, I could cover this part. It's like if someone breaks in your house, steals maybe say a TV, steals your record collection, or let's see, what else could somebody just lift up? Maybe a camera, maybe watches, and it's gone, and you turn in the police report. Hopefully you got insurance to cover, but you can. I mean, if it was like a watch that your wife gave you on your 5th anniversary, or it was a bedroom set that your family, they scraped up some money and bought you a really nice bedroom set or bedroom blankets and things of that sort. Some of those things you could replace them, but it's the sentimental kind of thing. And say you go on
heck with all that, man. I'd just be worried about the guitar and the amp and all the other stuff that somebody would just be able to jack and toss up on eBay. Would there be a way to trace that type of sale? Well, not really. I mean, it would go quick enough to where the cash would be spent long before the people might be theoretically busted. Another thing is pawn shops, things like this. Quick, easy way to make money. Quick, easy way to get 20, 30, some odd years. So, it's best to try to stay on the straight and narrow. What would you folks do if all your stuff ended up on eBay or
stuff that you recognize? I was amazed that they recognize.
Absolutely.
like a Fender guitar, it looks like a Fender guitar unless you put like, I don't know, some like what are those stickers that you could put on stuff, and you know that you put those stickers in this place and that place, and it was this sticker that reminds you when you played at this location or that, and you got this to remind you, and you saw that and you said that is not just a Fender guitar, that is my Fender guitar. Oh man.
Absolutely
Oh
right. That's absolutely right. So, what would you folks do? Hit us up at 720-324-7278.
yeah,
And we also have an email address at info@innervisionfm.com. In the subject, just,
yeah,
I don't know, mention what we're talking about here. I mean,
yeah.
what would you
And
do if your stuff ended up on eBay?
yeah, yes, and it's like, and so I was just surprised that they saw it, and because they were saying they felt violated and stuff like that, and I'm gonna think, I that think about it was the one time me and my partner Wayne, we were living in California, we were roommates, and we used to have like because we were single, we were like 21 years old, we would have blind what we call blind parties. That is, we didn't let anybody drive home drunk because most of the people that were at the party were blind. So the bus would start running at a certain time. So, we would just, have a bunch of blankets and say, hey, you could sleep here, sleep there. And because it was California, some people could even sleep out in the front yard because we had a
Wow.
yard at the time. So we had this party, and this 13-year-old boy, he's a big boy, I mean, he's like big kid. When somebody said, I made 2 pots of chili for the party, and somebody tapped me and said, Johnny, that big boy, he's eating all the chili. And I'm thinking, I said, go home, eat at your house. If your mom's not feeding you, this is for the party. Go home. You weren't invited. And I hate to be that way, but it was a adult party with adult
Right.
people, blind people. Most of us was blind, and this kid
Right.
was taking advantage of that. And then come to find out that one day we were all gone. We go to work. We go. And it takes about 90 minutes to get to downtown Los Angeles, where we go, or Long Beach. And he had broken our window, and what we how we found out it was him is that in the bathtub was this big footprint, and he wears a
Wow.
size 13.
That's a big dude.
Yeah, so we knew who it was, and the cops went in, and the mother says, "Take him away." I told them not to do that, and especially to those blind people over there. And so
That's amazing.
and he stole some chords, some keyboard chords, which I don't even know what he could do with the keyboard chords. You needed a keyboard.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Those things are expensive and they're specialized for a specific purpose. And so, therefore, I mean, it doesn't matter what he did with them, whether he threw them in the trash or never used them for anything.
Yeah,
I
so
mean, man, that's just that's a that's a raw deal, dude.
So, and we used to let the kids come over. They would come over and they would sit in the sometimes it was the 6 and 7 year old girl sisters, and they would come and sit and draw at our house. I'm thinking like, how come they're not drawing over at their house? It's like, and so we would we'd play our music. We wouldn't even we go about our business, and the kids would come over and draw and whatever, or they're playing in our front yard. Maybe I guess it's always greener in the other pasture, but it's just that these kids, we trusted them, and the kids that were under, I guess 12, they were, I guess not at that age where they were into like just doing that stupid of stuff, and but it was just I don't know, it was just so, but we didn't, it was no eBay back then.
Say, on a different subject, on a
Uh,
totally different subject, but still on a similar subject. What's an e-bike?
okay, e-bike. Now I found out about this when I went tandem bike riding, and I had no idea that there was a e-tandem bike. And what it is a electrical vehicle,
Oh,
electrical
those things that
bike.
you see every now and then downtown. You'll see these bikes and they'll be tied up and they'll have these
Mm.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him.
Yeah, yeah. And so I guess they're getting, kind of popular with people. And I guess in 2020 there was something that we were voting on, which I don't remember voting on this, that says they're gonna charge us 25% sales tax, and I'm not exactly sure what is this 25%. Is it going to be sales tax on food? Is going to be 25% sales tax on clothes? What is this 25% sales tax that was going to raise $40 million a year that somebody, not me, voted on to give $1,000 to people to put down on a $2,000 e-bike?
So it looks like they actually purchased this bike for $2,000 and they're subsidized for half that purchase.
Right.
Looks like then they own the bike. I would
Hmm.
imagine the way that the tax would be levied is you would be made to download an app, because I would imagine the only way that they could assign that bike to you so that it wouldn't get
Oh yeah.
stolen is to have an app or something that links that bike specifically only
It's
to you.
it's a barcode that you click on, and then you get the voucher for that, and then you just take it to the dealer, and then that pays for. And this is, some of the e-bikes go up to $10,000, but this one particular guy, I won't mention his name unless he sponsors the show, because things
Sure.
are flying off his shelf. Like I'm thinking about contacting him and say, hey, you want to do some advertising? Because now I know the name of the place. A lot of people know the name, who read the story. Uh, and this lady, she's a single lady, and she's so happy because now she can put baskets on her e-bike and do her
Right.
grocery shopping. But I'm saying, like, what if you are a mother with 3 kids, or it's in the wintertime? You just can't scrap baskets on the seats and just put all the kids on the e-bike. Get rid of and she was bragging about how she's gonna get rid of her gas car, and she's gonna only use the e-bike. And I'm saying, what propaganda? What, they're gonna steal $40 million from us. Then they're gonna say you're gonna ride e-bikes and you're gonna be happy not to have a
Wow.
car to sit your kid, put them in car seats, and put them in the back seat of the car and drive to go get your grocery. You're gonna be happy with this e-bike.
That is very fascinating. The subject of all these electric vehicles was posed to our uh, press secretary for the president the other day by a guy by the name of Peter Ducey on Fox, and he mentioned the what was it? The idea that do you guys know that? I mean, you're pushing these electric vehicles. Do you guys even own any yourselves? I'd love
Mm.
to know the answer to this. And
Yeah.
probably about a few weeks ago, there were some reporters running around and they were asking the various politicians in Washington just after they got out of recess from something or other. Hey, do you know what the price of gas is in your town, your state, your do you know the price of do you know the average price in the United States? And they got no answers to any of this. It was absolutely hilarious, but yet not hilarious at all. Now, we do all understand from a natural standpoint that we want to move away from gas powered vehicles as much as possible because they stink and they do clutter up the environment. I will say that during the vacation package, the time before the vacation package, there were clean skies because everything was all locked down. but
Mm.
but I will tell you this: we do need to ease into this. We
Mm.
can't just abandon set of fuel and initiatives. We can't abandon energy sources that we're basically dependent on. We
Yes.
became dependent on those probably 100 to 120 years ago.
And let me tell you what happened. We took because I used to, and I probably am going to start up this again. It was a tandem bike club, and so one of the riders they had this e-bike, and it makes it does make it easier to go up a hill. This is like a motorcycle and so forth. But I guess it ran out of juice, and those things are almost as heavy as a motorcycle. Not as heavy as a motorcycle, but pretty close. And when they run out of juice, it's like carrying dead weight. And so they had to, two guys had to like, you know, drag that bike, because everything had just stopped because it just ran out of charge. I don't know why, if they didn't charge it well enough the night before or whatever, but they had to, manually push it back to the the camper to put it in there and take it back to when we got through with the other bikes. But I didn't try because I don't know. I want the exercise. I like to, and man, my legs were hurting that day, but it was, you know, I don't know. Maybe one day, I'll get old enough to say, hey, okay. But I really wanted the exercise. So yeah, that's yeah. But 25% sales tax. I mean, that's a
Well,
lot of sales tax.
that is a lot of sales tax, and I was really wondering when they would get around to recouping a lot of the sales tax received by gasoline. You know,
Mm,
once gasoline powered vehicles do go away, uh, a 25% sales tax is definitely not unheard of. The unfortunate thing is once we do become dependent on these electric powered vehicles, let's say that a social credit score does actually take off. So that basically means if you make a bad Facebook post, theoretically speaking,
mm.
you could maybe stand to having your e-bike privileges revoked for a couple of days, or your electric car not starting for a couple of days, until you straighten
Mm.
up and fly right and get yourself out of Facebook jail. I mean, this stuff is real.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you take geofencing and you decide to tie it to uh, technologies like transportation, uh, those that have the power and hold all the switches and the levers and the buttons, why they can really run amok with society and make us do all kinds of crazy stuff that we would normally not want to do. Uh,
Mm.
a good case in point is the recent example of all of these food places that have been hit with explosions and just mysterious things that happen only on
Mm.
Wednesdays and Thursdays for whatever reason, right in the middle of the week. I don't know what that's all about, but I do know that from a business standpoint, it can't be good for their stocks.
What part of the country is it? Is it in the south, the north, or just in just different places?
I don't even have any of the information in front of me to give you uh, a map of what the where these are, but
Hmm.
you can probably look some of this stuff up, at least currently, if you were to toss in some dates. Using Google is wonderful and stuff, but do like to bury some of that information. So obviously a VPN and a and a good search engine besides Google would
Hmm.
probably work
Yeah.
really well. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate that we live like this in a free country where we got to be careful with what we say and how we speak.
Yeah,
Uh,
and this is part of the. I'm not going to say the C word, but I'm going to say the weather changing um, bill that was voted on. Which, oh man, these guys. Oh, also, this kind-hearted lady. She's a representative, Republican representative, Stephanie Luck.
Stephanie Luck.
Yes, she introduced a bill to say have these politicians who pick winners and losers come and say on television in a public way that they're sorry that they destroyed 40% of these small businesses that will never come back, and all the pain they put people through their executive orders. And I thought that was so nice for her
Hmm,
to put up something. She said it'll probably be killed, but she said if you could
sure.
call your senator and or representative, well, here in Colorado, House representative and senator, and even if there's a line to Hancock or Polis or because they were the main banditos of this, and just encourage them to pass this resolution because they want to say they're sorry to the Japanese or no the Chinese. I don't know if it's the Japanese or Chinese that something happened to them in 1980s or something before, and say, well, why are they going to virtual signal that, but not do something about this that people are still here, still alive, and they can at least say, "Hey, I'm sorry for destroying the business, your dream, that you put up all your money, your family sacrifice." Why not say sorry to fellow Coloradans for what you did?
Wow. And that's
And I think
what
that's
has transpired over the last couple of years,
yes,
which has resulted in some of our benevolent overlordship at YouTube and the picking and choosing of certain topics and that kind of thing. Is that right?
yes, and I still think Stephanie Luck. I mean, she's has such a kind voice. I said, man, they're gonna run you over. It's like putting the wolves in the cage with the rabbit. It's like she had this is sweet, kind voice, and I said, man, I hope you're tough, man, because you're
Sweet, kind rabbit with some teeth.
yes. Oh man, but I hope that does go through because they do owe uh, all of us an apology for just this overreach. But sometimes some people never learn to say, "I'm sorry." They just do what they do, and then that that's it. Oh, and also like saying the sorry for. Sometimes they put people in like either hospital or nursing home, and they died, and they wouldn't let the families come in and be with them during this time. No apology for that. Just oh well. I mean, just like that bandito did it in New York, killed all those people in a nursing home. It just seemed like that cold bloodedness runs through the veins of these left wing politicians, and it's a shame. Yeah. So oh now some good news. Guess what Spotify did to the Obama's podcast?
They extended their contract for absolutely ever, and we get
Mm.
to listen to the wisdom and
No,
of
no,
of our
wrong,
former
wrong,
president.
wrong, Kimosabi. They paid him $20 million, and I guess they were supposed to promote, their podcast. Like, you give somebody that kind of money, they should have like money to advertise and stuff like that to let people know. And they didn't do nothing. They just took the money. So Spotify says, hey, your shows are not getting any listeners, any viewers. So thank you for taking $20 million, and they kicked them off of
Well,
Spotify.
that is interesting. So, I guess the moral of the story being have interesting content. If you find our
Or
stuff interesting, don't forget to
oh
like, share, and subscribe, and
yes, yeah.
hit that thumbs up button assiduously. Sometimes it sticks.
Yeah. And also it tells you that if you're gonna get paid 20 million, set aside 10%, maybe 15% for marketing.
Absolutely, because the bills do have to be paid. And
Yeah.
to help us out with that, you can hit us up at paypal.me/Innervision Denver. And there are some other ways to help us out. The description is all packed with different ways and means that you can get a hold of us and get in touch with us.
Yeah, and then of course you heard about Netflix
Oh
losing like,
yeah,
oh, and part of why they're losing so many subscribers. Okay, it was shut down in Russia, so that lost like quite a few people, and
yes.
then I guess some people just decided to shut up because the content was not interesting because they had exclusive on certain things, but after you've seen most of those things, you're saying you're saying more and more and more, and they say, wait a minute, hold on. And I heard the Ozark. I saw a preview on another channel, which I wonder if I can get it on another channel, because that's the only reason I turned back on my Netflix is to watch Ozark. But they played 7 of part 4, and they were playing the I don't know if it's going to be the finale or I mean, they just can't end this. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Ozark, but it's about drug laundering. No, money laundering for drug cartel, and this guy who made the decision that, hey, I want my family to live the good life, but the pressure of working with ruthless drug cartel is pretty intense, pretty intense to say the
You
least.
know, there was a time where I watched something similar called Sons of Anarchy to see
Hmm.
what society thought of bikers and stuff, and it was not quite exactly the way that the bikers really are, but it was kind of funny. Uh,
Hmm.
of course, I got into Vikings for a while, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. But that kind of, so I I didn't catch Ozark just yet, but I'll probably catch that Yellowstone or something like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, Netflix is definitely going by the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, and they're charging like $20 for a subscription, and then they want to stop people from sharing. And this one lady said, I was paying $70. I don't know if I want to pay $20 for the service, and so they're gonna have to, maybe I heard they may have to start running commercials to help bring up the slack there.
One thing
Now,
that is kind of cool is I have heard that YouTube Music is really kind of starting to really take off, and that's what we try to promote is grassroots musicians, disabled folks,
mm,
financially challenged folks. One of those folks is Dreamland
Finland,
Music. That's what is that? MUZIK.
right, right, and they will be in concert this Friday from between 7 and 11 a.m. And so, if all works out well, me and my wife, we're going to be down there and videotaping it for some other footage to put on some of our other platforms. And I'm hoping they're
Still
going to
got
get the,
tickets.
yeah.
There was a special the other night. We're asking
Oh,
for like
yeah.
50 people to jump on in there. It could be that special's already dried up.
Yeah.
What's the status on
Oh,
that?
okay. They sold enough tickets, so they have their time slot locked in, which should hopefully be between like 8 and 8:30. So I gotta remind them, go meet with the lady. Make sure you lock she knows that you're there, because as soon as you come in and you check in, you're supposed to go to the lady, and then she'll say, okay, you got your time assigned. And
Awesome.
last time they didn't know that it was this lady that they had met at other events, that she was the one who was managing this concert. But what we had is like, a prize could be like a dinner with the guys of Dreamland, or oh, I should have wrote down some of there was some of the other prizes, but and I'll go back over the prize, but we'll draw tickets on that. If you go the night of the show, it's going to be $3 more. $3 more. Some people say, that's no problem, but some people say, man, I want to save that $3. So buy your tickets online. It's Afton shows.com/Dreamland Music, Muzik, and just go there and get your tickets there for this coming Friday show. And they're gonna also drop their album BIC, which stands for Because I Can, and this is their, I think it's their
Third,
no,
fourth,
fourth album. I
fourth
think.
album.
Yeah, was it one, two, three? Yes, this is their fourth album. The fourth
Right.
album, and they're planning on coming out with a celebration to Leo, because two of the members are Leos, and so that's going to be coming out. So, but you got to get this album. This one is called Big, and it has the hit song Rosa on it. And I didn't bring up our player tonight to play, but yeah, but so that's going to drop at noon. No matter where you are, it's wherever it's noon in your country or state or whatever, it's going to be dropping noon this coming Friday. So you can get your copy and get these guys into the top 200 by getting as many, buying or streaming and all that kind of stuff, and make it happen. Now wait, I got to tell you this. This last one, this one, good news for parents, but not good news for these guys. The company that claimed that they were, and they used to be, children friendly, Disney has had their special tax breaks taken.
They've kind of had special governing status,
Mm,
basically.
yes, and they decided they wanted to take a stand on perverting our children, as it were, and having discussion with our children, that we have decided that we will decide the time and the age. We want them to be children first, and not grown up to be potential porn stars. So it's so Disney took their stand, and Governor Sanchez, he took his stand, and so they'll be paying with 80,000 employees. They'll be paying their fair share in taxes, and Democrats are always talking about pay their fair share, and now they are, and they're saying we don't want them to pay their fair share, and I'm thinking like, make up your mind. Do you want the big businesses to pay their fair share, or do you not? Or is it only the ones that you deem that should pay their fair share, and not the ones that are so-called woke?
Well, do stay tuned, especially for those of us here that live in Colorado, because there are some things that are in the works, and we'll see how everything shakes out. But our own Governor Polis will be addressing this certain thing, and we'll just see where Disney ends up shaking out with the whole mess.
But
But
I tell you,
oh man,
it won't work here, because if they brought it here, we closed down Six Flags during the winter time. It's not
well,
something that stays
see,
open. Yeah.
that is interesting. Some of the rumblings that I've heard is, they're gonna try to help out Disney in some way, but how would they do that? Because, like you said, we do have to shut down a goodly
Mm,
portion of our parks, and even the aquarium didn't really work out very well
yeah.
for the length of time. I mean, it's still open and stuff, and they found a buyer, but
Right.
the original owners of that ended up having to go and get that thing
Yeah.
sold.
And ladies and gentlemen, don't let Polis fool you. He's acting like he's so friendly to businesses, but remember, he dis- he destroyed 40% of small businesses here in Colorado, and his boss, the Bandito Biden, destroyed 50,000 jobs through the Exxon
The
pipeline.
XL pipeline, just in the
Yeah.
first week, just in the
So
first week of his presidency.
yeah. So
These
don't
guys are
believe the
some real
lie.
big hitters, some heavy hitters, some high flyers, and the midterms are coming up, and that's why it's never been more important to get involved at the local, the state, and at the federal level, because we the people are what makes this country, and the reason for that being is, well, if those at the
Mm,
top are all that's left, then they become we the people, and it won't be very fun. And it'll be awful lonely if it's just them. So
Yes.
they need us
Hey.
just like we need them. We can't help the way that we're made, just like they can't help the way that they're made. And
Mm.
you know, we
Yeah.
believe in a higher power.
Oh
That
yeah.
higher power being Jesus Christ. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Oh, and also tomorrow, I have a meeting with the GOP tomorrow. A bunch of us do.
that's awesome.
So we're gonna do our show a little bit early. I don't know. Do you want to do it at 4:30? Because my ride is gonna get here about 45 after to get me there at 6:30. So just in case if it runs, because we thought of an interesting thing, and we're gonna test it to make sure that it records. Matter of fact, I wonder if I should. I wonder if we should test. Let's test it now. Let's see. I have to. Okay. Let's test it now.
All right.
Okay. We're gonna test it now. I'm gonna open up Skype, and we're going to come on. Open up. I should have. Well, I'm saying I should have thought about this at the time. Come on. Open up. Oh, I I hear. Where are you at? Oh, ah, it's not opening up. Well, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some phone calls, but I'm gonna definitely test it before we do it. It's not cooperating with me now, but we're
Well,
gonna
so
do it.
the good news is, if you're on our email list, stay
Oh
tuned for
yeah,
the email.
I'll shoot
If
it
you're
out.
not on the email list, check this out. You can get on our email list. Just ping us at info@innervisionfm.com
All right.
and just toss in the subject line, hey, I want to be added to your email list. We'll make that happen.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna grab some free numbers, and we're gonna make some phone calls, and we're gonna have some fun tomorrow, and we're gonna find out what we the people are thinking out there.
Special time tomorrow, so stay tuned.
So we'll be on a little bit early from 4:30, but you'll get the announcements if you're part of our email list or if you're hooked up with the Facebook. It sends out the announcements, and we'll have some other topics as well, but we'll be making some calls during that. So everybody, good night. I got another meeting to go to with Combo. The night is one of those busy nights. Okay.
All right. A
All
special
right.
shout out to California.
Oh yeah.